Hey guys, welcome back to Thunderdome Homestead. So, I went to Wally World a little while back and I found this CB radio for $5 on clearance. I was pretty happy with that. So, upon opening it, I discovered that the manufacturer, so with these CB radios, they give you just your bare wires, which you have the option to hardwire them into your vehicle, or what I'm going to do, because I don't like splicing into existing wiring harnesses, is I got one of these guys for your cigarette lighter, and I clipped the connectors off and I pulled that wire, stripped that wire coating off, and I got these things. They're called heat shrink tubing. This is how I do most of my wiring. So, I'm going to teach you guys the process of soldering, tinting, all that fun jazz. So, stay tuned. So, when it comes to that, you have solder and like a flux paste. Okay? Now, let me turn you down here. Alright, so you can see what I'm working with here. So I have my soldering iron here heated up. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, I pulled everything, like I said, I got my heat shrink tubing pre-staged already down the wire. I twisted my wire real nice and good. And now what I'm going to do is, since this paste here is kind of cold, so it's not wanting to work good, I got that started. And then I am going to put my solder here. Right, there we go. Build it up. And I'm going to do what's called tinting. Okay? You can see the wire here is now a silverish color instead of the copperish color. That's called tinting. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now these other wires on the CB itself are already tinted. Don't want to breathe that smoke in if you can avoid it. So what that flux does, that paste, is it helps this solder adhere better. I'm probably going to add a little more onto each, just to be on the safe side. There we go. And then I'm going to do that on this one too. Now, like I said, this is how I do all my wiring. So, like on boats and vehicles and stuff like that, or if I'm rewiring a trailer harness, this is how I do it. All right, now clean that off. So, like I said before, you can see that these ones, let me bring them a little closer to you. You can see these ones are pre-tinted. The factory did that. So, obviously, red to red, black to black. So So what I'm going to do here is, now that these guys are tinted, you're going to touch them together and solder away. Once it hardens up, there it is. Do the same thing here. If I can get it to work for me. They have like tools that kind of hold everything in place. I've just never got one. Probably should make life easier. Alright. There we go. Now, you can see here, oop, that one broke. I gotta redo it. I knew that was gonna happen. I did this on camera, so something's gotta happen. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, there. So, redone. Now you see these connections are made. So now, what I'm going to do is make sure that everything's kind of tucked in pretty good, bent together. Then I'm going to slide these heat shrink tubes over the splices. Like so. Now, you take your handy dandy Bic lighter and you run it over these like that. Kind of rotate them, do it the best you can, and you see that it shrinks down and encompasses everything, and it kind of sucks it together and seems to work pretty good. And it waterproofs that connection. It's better than electrical tape. Really cinches everything down. All right. These connections have been made. Now, I am able to run this thing. So, give me 1 second here. I'm going to go grab one of my EcoFlow power stations, and we're going to check this out. All right, guys. So, I have my EcoFlow River Mini here. And as you can see, it's got a spot to plug in a cigarette lighter. So, as I plug this in here, you can see it's powered on. And look at that. It works. Channels. All right, so now you can see that it's going to power that for 27 hours. Yay, look at that. I found another use for this little power station. So at the end of the day, my goal at the least is to get together a small Calmo station. So I've got a couple of ham radios. I want to get some sort of, maybe once I get a little further into the ham rabbit hole, I want to try to get a repeater to kind of boost that signal up. That combined with the CB radio here would be a good little start, I guess, to having some sort of communication station or commo station, whatever you want to call it. But I'm actually kind of happy that everything kind of worked out, and this thing seems to be potentially able to power it for a while. So I found one of my first good uses for this little power station. And I also now have a functional CB radio. Something I've kind of wanted for a while now. Anyhow, hopefully you guys got something out of this. You learned a little bit about wiring. I'm not an electrician by trade, but I know enough to get by. I can wire houses. I can do stuff like this. I've built CNC machines from the ground up that were accurate to within a thousandth of an inch, which is really freaking accurate. And yeah, a good friend of mine helped me out with that, and he's taught me a lot about wiring. But anyhow, like I said, hopefully you guys got something out of this, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.